Dobrodošli v šte jedna emisija Milenko Nedelkovski show. Oktobri mjesec, 15. sezona 2019-2020. Za ovaj petok подготвував јас една емисија со боцкање. Јас се работи за непотизмот во една од најбитните гранки во општественото живење во секоја држава, така и во нашата. Од друга страна излезе оној мирољубив состанок кај председателот Пендаровски, каде што сите излегоа задоволни, нешто решени да одат во Европска унија и НАТО. Иако народот минатата година на 30 септември 2018 сосема спротивно реши. И мислев и тоа да е тема, и тоа нема да е тема. Ќе оставам за некој следен термин. Зошто? Затоа што низ нашата држава проаѓа големата европска турнеја, за која ќе дознаете повеќе, која организираат европските рамноземљаши, за да можат да ги објаснат своите гледања на тоа зашто тие тврдат дека земјата е рамна и како е рамна, каде почнува, каде завршува. И со сите можни прашања, на тој начин се во средата беа, во вторникот беа и во центарот на Скопје, на оние кои се заинтересирани да им објаснат што ги интересира. Само да напоменам дека гостувањето на мојот пријател Дейв од Англија, кој овдека беше кај мене пред 3-4 сезони и направивме емисија за рамна земја, каде што тој ја ги објасни сите можни теории. Јас поставав само прашање. Беше распространета низ целиот свет, бидејќи јас тамо делови имав и на македонски, луѓето кои се во светското друштво на рамноземјаши ги вадеа парчињата каде што Дейв говори на англиски и така натаму, за да може да ја разберат, нели, неке разбира некој во Индонезија македонски јазик. И најгледаните од сите парчиња беа, едното беше гледано, значи тоа се цели делови од мојата емисија, каде што пише позади Milenko Nedelkovski show, Late Night show и така натаму. Најгледаното видео, пренесено видео, беше согледано со 3,7 милиони, 3 милиони и 700 илјади луѓе го имаа гледано, а другото беше 2 милиони и 800, имаше овие кои беа со помалку гледаност. Не верувам дека било кога ќе постои некоја емисија, не од Македонија, од бивша Југославија, која би имала таква гледаност. Значи, емисија во рангот на која е мојата емисија, на ток-шоу емисија. Така да ја користам приликата и овој пат, втор пат се, значи, во мојата емисија, да гостува мојот пријател Дейв, кој се наоѓа на таа европска голема турнеја, за која ќе ни каже што е, како е, и да му поставам неколку прашања кои ми се важни, а тој да ги објасни, па вие понатаму, од тука натаму цените што е право, што е криво, дали има дупки неговата теорија, нема и така натаму. Welcome to Macedonia once again, Dave.
I'm so glad to be back, really am.
Thank you very much that you came, that you include Macedonia in that European big tour.
The Macedonia was always included. I just found out that we were coming here, and I made sure that I was on this part of the tour.
Okay, thank you very much once again. I just explained in Macedonian language to my audience about how a big success was the last show. Where when you are a guest in my show, you also told me about that when we drive with the car to my studio. That
I really felt I had to tell you that your show had a huge effect on the flat Earth community. Worldwide, yes. I've been all over the world speaking about it, and everywhere I go, I'm told that by many people, the first introduction into flat Earth was that video.
Through that show.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I hope that I helped.
I think you did
to your
greatly.
On our last appearance, you and me on my show, we explain almost everything. Actually, you explain almost everything. And this is your second time. So I would like to use this with several questions which will answer some unanswered questions till now. But first of all, can you explain to us why is this tour? What's happened? Why do you travel all those miles, kilometers, thousands, and all those cities, countries? Why is this?
Well, there was a UK tour last year.
UK,
yes.
through United Kingdom.
Yes, it went all the way through the United Kingdom. I can't remember how many cities, but many cities around the UK, and it was a great success. So
Really?
this year, this year we decided to extend it to the whole of Europe, and I think there was something like I think it's 63 cities in I think 36 countries. Now I'm only doing a part of the tour. I think I'm part of 22 countries.
Till now?
Not till now. I think I've done 8 or 9 countries so far. But still got a way to go.
You came here from Pristina,
Yes.
and tomorrow you are going to Sofia.
Yes, that's right.
And from Sofia?
Oh, I'm not sure actually. Yeah, literally, it's been a rush. We've been going,
And,
every day to a different country.
Yeah, okay. And through this meeting different kind of people in different countries, what is your opinion about your truth, actually?
Well, we're meeting a lot of people who are already on the road to understanding this, and I've met a lot of people who say, "Yeah, you don't have to convince me. I already know it's the world is flat and we don't live on a ball." Quite a few I speak to, they initially very anti the idea, and they don't like the idea at all. But after speaking to them for a while, you can almost see the cogs turning in their heads, and they're
Do you have a lot of opposition on this?
Oh yeah, lots of opposition.
Through this traveling,
Traveling not so much, but when we're out in the street, because what we're doing is street activism. Literally just put banners out in the street and just engage with people as they walk by. And
Who is financing this? Who is supporting it?
well, it's essentially the flat Earth community. It's and there isn't a real community. It's just ordinary people who like the idea of this tour. We're just putting our money together to have
travel.
it done. Yeah.
How many people are including in? You are traveling with. We need to explain to our viewers that you are traveling with a minivan. Actually, with a camper, how can I say?
Big, motorhome.
A motorhome,
Yeah.
A motorhome. And you are sleeping in there, you are traveling there through in that, so it's not something which is expensive, coming with planes, sleeping in fancy hotels or something like that. Nothing happening.
No, it's just a motorhome, and we park up somewhere for the night, and then go to a different country.
Now you will sleep close to my dog, so you will be
Yes.
safe here. Okay. How many people are in this? How many people are traveling? You are changing, as I understand.
Yeah. Right now
because
there's
it's to have it to.
Sure. Right now there's 3 of us. There
In this moment. Yeah.
Yes, there were 4 of us up until 4 days ago. When I leave the tour, 3 other people are going to join the tour.
So to complete everything.
So yes, there's a little sort of crossover of people.
Okay. So I would like to start with the real show actually now. First of all, after your last appearance in my show, can you tell me, do you have any new evidence about this conclusion, your conclusion that Earth is flat. Do you have any new things you can discover to us?
In terms of new, there's not an awful lot new because we're all working with the same limited information that we've got. And what is new is that we're refining the information that we're presenting with new ideas, new perspectives. So, for example, we're told that you don't feel the 1,000-mile-an-hour spin of the Earth, and they say it's because the Earth spins around once every 24 hours, and that's far too slow for anyone to even feel anything. Which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It seems to make sense. A huge Earth, it's not moving around very fast. But when you consider and you kind of bring it to real terms, if you imagine me and you on a child's roundabout, thing that you go around on, and it was 8 feet across, and we were on either side of it. Now, if that roundabout went round once every 24 hours, then it would move at 3/16 of an inch every minute, and you wouldn't notice it. Yeah, it's very, very tiny, and every minute, and you'd have to study it really hard, and then you go, oh yeah, I see it moving.
I'm moving or I'm not. Okay.
Yeah. So if you imagine now that roundabout was a mile wide, okay, now it's moving at 2.2 inches a second, so it's moving like that. Okay, now you can notice it.
Yeah.
Now imagine if that roundabout was 8,000 miles wide. It'd be moving at 1,500 feet per second. Yes, you would notice it. Yeah. So this idea that you wouldn't notice this motion is kind of ridiculous when you bring it to human terms. And now they'll say that motion, a constant motion, you can't feel it. And I'll give you an example of if you're in a train and the train is going at a constant motion, you can do all sorts of things like pour water and just act normally on the train, and you wouldn't notice that you were moving.
Yeah.
The only thing there is that
if you go out,
constant motion in a circle is actually acceleration in different directions. So you're accelerating. Yeah, it's just like if you're going along in a car, and in a constant speed, in a straight line, and you have a sharp turn, you're going to be thrown to one side. Yeah, if you're on a constant curve, you'd always be thrown to one side. Yeah, you would feel it. You'd notice it.
We should walk like that.
Yeah, yes, you'd be.
All the buildings will be like
you'd be,
and trees.
But if you're nearer to the equator you are, the more you'll want to be thrown off into space. If this was real, when you ask the questions, right, and really sort of delve into them, it becomes ridiculous. Why are we believing this? You're equipped with senses that tell you exactly, what your world is like. You go out to the beach and you look at the sea and it's perfectly flat. And if you doubt that, you can find a sign that's on the beach, because they level those signs, and look at the bottom of the sign and compare it to the horizon, and it's always going to be completely level. So your eyes tell you you're on a flat plane. Okay, your senses, which are really finely honed, are telling you that you're not moving at 800 miles an hour right now.
Yeah.
Right. Your senses also tell you that down is that way. Okay, doesn't tell you anything else. Down is that way.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
But science is trying to tell you that no, the Earth is curved, and you see things go over a curve. It's also trying to tell you that you are moving at a huge speed, faster than the speed of sound. And it's also telling you that down is also that way, and that way, and that way, and that way. Yeah. It's the only reason the only way that somebody in Australia can be standing on the bottom of a ball if down is also that way. Yeah,
I understand.
So they've tried to make you believe that your senses don't work, and there's a different story that again really doesn't make sense.
There is that in United States, there is that black guy with his big show who is pro NASA, that everything is already discovered, so we don't need to know anything else.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the guy. And I knew that you are in a big fight with him, and on the end he just ran away from that fight. He has no answer for the clear questions.
Sure. It actually came from you when I was.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I was flying over to see you, I thought I'd better have some ideas about what to say to you. So I came up with 12 points. And when I got back home, I thought that these are good questions to ask Neil deGrasse Tyson. So literally, I wrote letters, 2 letters to 2 of his addresses, of his work addresses. I put a video on YouTube, which is an open letter to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, like a question. Please answer the question. Yeah?
Sure. And I got a lot of people to write to him on Twitter to say there's some questions for you to answer. And literally, I every avenue I could think of to get to him, to ask him these questions, I asked them. And he's been avoiding answering the question. Very simple questions, you know. The only problem is that the answers to these questions contradict the model that they're putting towards us, yeah. So if he tries to answer it with a sciencey based answer, then the answer is going to contradict with something else in their model. So it's deceptively simple, really. Yeah. So that's why he's not going to answer.
Tell me what's happened with our friend Mark Sargent in the United States.
What's happened with him?
Yeah, how he's doing. Yeah.
He's okay. I saw him. When did I see him? I saw him in Amsterdam. We had a conference in Amsterdam. He's doing well. Yeah.
He's doing well in the United States. Sargent je prijatelj naš, što je isto tako jedan golem guru u raмките на рамноземјашите. И јас се обидувам да го донесам во Македонија, да биде гостин во мојата емисија. Немам финансиски капацитет тоа да го направам. Значи не треба нешто многу, треба една авионска карта од $1000. И се надевам дека ќе се најде некој кој го интересира оваа тема. Ќе плати авионскиот билет за да дојде и тој човек овде да ги објасни неговите тези кои се поклопуваат со тезите на Дейв. Okay, Dave, you can understand that in Macedonia, of course, there are a lot of people who didn't watch our show 3-4 years ago. You know, somebody is too young or too busy, or he's not at home, or he was away on some trip, business trip, leisure trip. So, please, can you? I don't want to bothering you with too many questions, because I hope that this show will also go viral on YouTube everywhere. So you are speaking English because you are an Englishman. I am not. Can you show us once again some 5, 6, 7, 10 examples where you can prove that Earth is flat and that those conclusions are not nobody can give other arguments on that.
Sure. Okay. Well, the very first and most obvious one is that we can't find curvature. So we're supposed to be living on a ball, and the oldest proof of that ball is that you can watch a ship go out to sea and go over the curve. Yeah, which, you know, yes, you can. You can go to the beach and see that. It looked like the ship goes over the curve. But nowadays we have technology. You know, you can go out and buy a zoom lens camera and the camera of choice is a Nikon P1000 now. It's a huge monster of a camera. So you can watch that ship appear to go over the curve of the horizon, zoom in, and it comes straight back. So anyone can do this. Anyone can buy that camera and go and see it for themselves.
I must tell you, I saw an experiment which Americans did on the Ontario Lake, from the Canadian side to American side, I think, to that threat or something like that, and they showed that there is no curve. Also, there were guys from Hungary. They do that on a Balaton Lake.
I was one of them.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Ah, very good. So I tried to copy that, and we have a beautiful lake, Ohrid Lake, a beautiful and big one. And to do that from one point which St. Naum to the Ohrid port, which is almost 40 kilometers, 30 something, which should show that it is like that. But unfortunately, I have no financial capacity to buy those lenses. And also, I asked Army, actually, gunnery, you know, those with big guns, you know, to borrow me those. They're very specific and very strong, you know, things for looking, you know, and they were afraid, and
They refused.
They refused, yeah. So I was not able to make an experiment to see. Maybe you are wrong, maybe you are right, but let's see, you know.
Sure.
If we see from this side, through the lake, we see the city. That's it. So please continue.
Well, funny enough, a few days ago we were in Hungary, and I went back to see my friend Sandor, who organised. He organised the laser experiment across Lake Balaton, and what we did, we had an industrial laser with
that red dot, actually. Huh?
Yeah, this was a green one.
Okay,
and,
green. Okay.
And it had what they call a collimator, which keeps the beam nice and tight. Yeah, and literally we shot that beam across the lake, and me and Sandor basically went out on a speedboat with a board on the back.
And it shows, yeah?
Yeah, and we were hunting that beam across the lake.
And how many kilometers is it?
Now, we went out 12 kilometers across the lake, and we took pictures of where the beam was hitting. It never moved. And every picture has a GPS coordinate, so we could plot where we were.
Always on the same level,
always
on
the
boat.
Same level, yeah. Our first try of the experiment, we literally had the beam just above the water, right? And what we found something really weird. We found that the beam went along and suddenly just went up like that. Just suddenly, just bent up. So we got pictures of the beam bending. Well, we theorise that right next to the lake is like high humidity. The lake's only 1 meter deep, and it's very, very humid, very close to the lake. And when the beam gets to a sort of saturation point, it literally gets refracted upwards.
The air is not clear enough, actually.
Yeah, it's just the air gets thicker and thicker and thicker.
Not clear enough.
Yeah, when it gets to a certain thickness, then it bends the beam upwards.
Can we go further with other?
What other experiments and things?
Yeah.
Right. Well.
No, other evidence actually.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Gravity, for instance. I put together a thought experiment to show that gravity isn't what we think it is. The idea is like Newton said that gravity is two masses attracting each other. And Einstein came along and said, no, what gravity is a mass curving space-time so that things fall towards an object. Both of these conceptions of gravity do, depend on mass, yeah, a weight of an object. Okay, so here's a thought experiment. So you get an empty gas bottle, and you weigh it and zero out the weight, so you're not weighing the gas bottle anymore, okay? And you fill that gas bottle with a pound of helium. Okay, so now you've measured a pound of helium in that gas bottle. You evacuate that gas bottle into a balloon, and then hold the balloon out with a pound weight, and then let go of them. What's going to happen? Helium's going to go up, the pound weight's going to go down. So why is that? Because both of them have the weight, the mass of a pound.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Yes, it doesn't matter if that helium is in liquid form. Yeah, it's the same number of atoms, same atomic weight. Yeah, when it's in a balloon, except one goes up, one goes down. Okay. The reason is it's relative density. Yeah, the helium is less dense than the air, so it will go up. Yeah, the pound weight is more dense than the air, it will go down. That's it. Now, science doesn't know, literally does not know, why things fall to the ground.
Yeah, I understand that the Newton law, actually, I will explain to audience in Macedonian language, sorry about that. Znači, Newtonoviot zakon je nešto što se gleda, međutim nema dokaz. I bilo kada barete po bilo što, po naučni, od naučnici, od fizičari, barete na Wikipedija, barete u leksikoni, barete u biblioteka, nema objašnjavanja za zakonot. Дека тоа се случува заради тоа, тоа и тоа. Значи, Ньютоновиот закон практично не е објаснет. Нема објаснување. Постои, да земаш нешто паѓа, ама не се знае зашто. Okay, that was my explanation of Macedonian language.
One other thing that nobody can really explain with any satisfaction, basically, is that how can you have a pressurized system next to a vacuum? Okay? If you've got any air pressure, any kind of air pressure without a container, it will go automatically to a lower pressure. Yeah. So if you've got air pressure next to a vacuum, that air pressure, no matter what, is going to go off to the vacuum. Yeah, it's literally going to be blown out to the vacuum and disappear.
Okay, but the answer probably is that gravity is keeping that.
Now, okay, so the standard experiment to show how weak gravity is to get a magnet and some paper clips and literally lift the paper clips with a magnet. Right? It's showing that this little magnet is overcoming the force of the entire planet pulling down on those paper clips. So it's saying magnetism is much stronger than gravity. Another idea into, this has popped into my head, the space and going into space with spacesuits. NASA has a vacuum chamber. Literally, it's made up of 2 foot of concrete. Okay, a space which is a lower pressure, then another foot of concrete, and then a steel enclosure to protect from what would be, I think it's 10 to the minus 6 torr. That's a unit of vacuum. Space is supposedly 10 to the minus 16 torr, which is, 10 orders of magnitude more powerful than the vacuum that NASA can produce. And that lower vacuum needs all that to protect, from 1 atmosphere of air. Okay? So how can a spacesuit made of rubber, cloth, and tin foil protect against a vacuum that's orders of magnitude more powerful than a vacuum that NASA can create, which needs 2 foot of concrete or 3 foot of concrete altogether and steel to protect it? It's impossible.
For me, the funniest thing are the commercial airplane flights, because they're going zigzag, which if you think that Earth is sphere, in that case, it's abnormal for commercial companies to travel longer and with much more time, much more food. People to travel longer time, not to be on time, they must go one day earlier. So if they can go directly.
It was, I think it was the Philippines to Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and literally they had to divert to Alaska, way up in the north, you know.
To give birth
to give birth, yeah.
to the baby.
But you know, on a flat map, it was a straight line. It was obviously it was literally on the way. So, and the flights you're referring to are flights that go in the southern hemisphere. In order to go anywhere 2 points in the southern hemisphere, most of these flights go up north, thousands of miles out of their way, and then back down again. So I think it's from South America, Chile, to Australia. I believe it literally goes to Los Angeles.
After down.
Yeah, so from Chile up to Los Angeles and down to Australia. But again, when you look at the flat map, straight line. Yeah. Now, since we spoke, there have been people. There was one chap called Max Egan who live streamed his direct flight from Australia to Chile, just to prove that you know, yes, you can do a direct flight, and it's 14 hours.
The situation of South Pole. Why that piece of territory is that much forbidden for exploring?
Yeah, it's off limits.
Why is that?
Why that is because I believe the answers are down there. Nobody's ever done, you know, north to south polar circumnavigation. You can go round east to west as much as you want, because that's literally doing a circle on a flat Earth.
And there is no like that.
Yeah. So, but you can't go from the north down to the South Pole, then back up, then come up the other side. Nobody's ever done that. Now,
So no Columbus, no Magellan, no Amerigo Vespucci, no modern submarines, nobody.
Well, just recently, somebody claimed to have done that. His name was Colin O'Brady. So we were watching his route very carefully. And when you actually track his route, literally he left from Chile down to a polar station, and then across to, I believe, McMurdo Station. So he went supposedly to the South Pole and then to McMurdo Station. But then he flew back to Chile.
Not go around.
No, so literally when you see it on the flat map, literally he approached, if Chile's here, he approached the South Pole here, went across, dipped down a little bit, then back up, and literally he didn't go anywhere. He just went, skirted around the
So that is amazing that nobody succeed to make that trip with boat, with submarine, or with plane, to go like that.
Nobody did.
Because it's very interesting for me. For example, Russians succeed to put their flag on the bottom on the ocean under the North Pole.
Okay.
So they go that deep with machines, with I don't know, with submarine. Doesn't matter. They put the flag, but nobody is interested to put that on the South Pole.
No. Now, what would be really cool is if somebody went to the South Pole, and got their compass, and showed that compass spinning around wildly. Because if you're at the South Pole, then everywhere is north.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that compass should go wild. Yeah. But nobody's ever done that. Yeah. Nobody's ever said, like, we're at the South Pole. Here's the proof. Yeah. No, I've never. Nobody's ever been to the South Pole because there is no South Pole. When people take package tours to Antarctica, they're shown a barbershop pole and said, "Oh, that's the South Pole," but it's not. They'll admit it's not actually the South Pole, and they'll give reasons for it, saying it's too dangerous to get there, it's too cold, and all that. Just look at this and be happy.
And you are at the South Pole.
Yeah, we'll say you're at the South Pole. It's okay, you know. But nobody's ever been there because it doesn't exist.
So the thing is that most of the old ancient civilization, they conclude that the Earth is flat, you know,
Yep.
mostly. Maybe 90%, maybe more of that.
Mm-hmm.
They are showing their maps, that they're everything. The question now is, okay, if it is not a sphere, if it is not a ball, how it looks, you know, where it stays and so on. And that is something which it's very difficult to explain.
I guess so, but really, I think it's pretty much the same model as the round of the ball Earth, but only smaller. Yeah. So the ball Earth theory says that space is expanding. You know, they don't tell you what's on the other side of the universe, and they don't tell you what it's expanding into. Yeah, so if it's expanding, it's got to be expanding into something. So what's that?
When people are accusing me here in Macedonia that I am flat earthist and so on, so I'm telling them that I'm not. Actually, I want just to ask questions. I just want to open my mind and the mind of other people. You know, that is the you know. I don't want to be canalized. You know, and one of the funniest things are that there is no picture from the space. There is no paparazzi who they are not turning down the Hubble and to make a picture. No picture. Everything is Photoshop. Everything is, you know.
Yeah.
Everything is Odyssey 2001 or something like that.
Though there is coming a time when we're not going to be able to tell the difference between, you know, fake and reality. Now the software is getting really good now.
Yeah.
In fact, I just did a talk at the Amsterdam conference, and I ended it with the comparison between the shots supposedly from the ISS from 10 years ago compared to the ones today. And the ones from 10 years ago, the problem was that when you see something coming towards you on the horizon, it was literally moving at the same speed as everything. Yeah. So it's telling you that what you're looking at wasn't thousands of miles long; it was a few hundred yards. Yeah, because everything was moving at the same speed. When you're on a train, for instance, yeah, you see trees near you go by really quickly,
Faster, yeah.
and the mountains off in the distance, they stay. Yeah. So that's what we see in reality, but we weren't seeing that on these ISS pictures. But now, the ISS footage, the Earth now moves in parallax in that proper way. You can go onto YouTube and listen to a guy called Rob Simon, who works for NASA, and he explains how he made the big blue marble, which is the picture of Earth, which was the one that was released on the iPhone. So when you got your iPhone, you had a picture of Earth on it. He created that image, and he explained how he put it together in Photoshop. He said he simulated the atmosphere, he simulated the bright spot where the sun would be reflecting, he coloured the oceans, he made the clouds and made them look like they're above the Earth.
He made a picture. Yeah?
He made a picture, yes, out of data.
And also when I speak with those people who want to debate, and once again accusing me about the flat Earth philosophy, I told them that this is the battle between creationists and evolutionists, and that by the Bible, we are all believing in Jesus Christ and in God and everything, you know. God save the Queen.
Yeah, not all of us believe in the Jesus
Okay,
Christ,
okay,
but yeah.
but in any case, those people who are believing in that, in God we trust, all Americans,
Right.
Great Britain, God save the Queen, you know, most of the people, yeah. If they believe in God, that means that they're believing in creation of a God, like us, like the planet, like all those animals everywhere. Not in because God is not evolutionist. No, he is creator. And I told them that it is impossible to give any evidence that God created us, but also nobody can give any evidence that everything began from a Big Bang. That is same, no evidence.
Exactly. Exactly. And the Big Bang came from a Jesuit priest. It wasn't a scientist who came up with that. It was a Jesuit priest. And
Jesuits.
the idea is that nothing, absolutely nothing, suddenly exploded for no reason.
Yeah.
So you got nothing, right? Just nothing here, nothing.
Yeah,
But there's air here, but you know, let's imagine there's no air here, nothing. Suddenly that nothing just exploded, and out of that explosion came everything. It's like, okay, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, my view on creationism is that, well, there are so many, virtually everything in you know the animal kingdom, yeah, relies on everything else. Yeah, you can't have, you know, this animal without this insect, and this insect needs that plant, and that plant needs, you know, that animal to be spreading its seeds around, and that animal requires this and that. It's all interconnected. So you can't have something evolving in isolation, something evolving over here and something evolving over there, because, you know, everything is interconnected. So it all had to happen all at once. It all had to come into being all at once. And there's no science for that. Science is just a religion. It's just a different religion.
On the end of this show, I would like you to ask you one question, which is very important for me to have an answer. How it is possible, all those big countries, big governments, important ones, which are in all kind of collisions, war, economy, cultural, religion, like China, Russia, India, France, Great Britain, United States, how they achieve all together to keep this secret?
Right.
Why, how it is possible? Millions of people are working in all those NASA's, not just American, but all those space agencies in all those countries.
Okay.
How they achieve that?
Well, the secrecy is very easy, actually. It's called compartmentalization. Yeah?
Sorry?
It's called compartmentalization. It means that when you go to a bank, for instance, the teller, the nice girl at the window, doesn't know what's going on in the CEO's office. Yeah? She just knows her little part of the job. You know, somebody says, give me some money, and she goes, okay, sign this, and that's her job. She doesn't know what the directors are doing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pyramid of control, and the lower
But
down.
that is about employees.
Yes.
But what about the government?
Right. Well, the fallacy.
The Russian
here,
government said that they send the first animal, first dog, Laika, first man, Yuri Gagarin, Valentina Tereshkova. Americans said that Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, and so how they are, why they are not
well,
fight?
The thing is that we all believe that we all live in separate countries with different leadership. Yeah, they're all working together. You know, it's all for show. okay? One of the evidences of that is the Antarctic Treaty. All these countries that have been fighting each other for over the last, well, I think it's 70 years now, they've never disagreed on the Antarctic Treaty. Yeah, Russia has got a place down there. America's got a place. But they've never argued. Yeah, they've never argued over that treaty.
But why they are keeping that secret? Why is that needed to keep that secret?
Because, as I said, there are no separate countries anymore. Okay.
Why they want to keep us in no knowledge and like slaves?
Well, knowledge is power. Okay.
That's true.
And you know, if you have a small group of people who want to control 7 billion people, or however many people there are around today, then you need to psychologically reduce people to a place of insignificance.
Can I conclude that this is actually just one chain in a worldwide slavery?
Yes. You know, I think I said it before that, you know, the ball earth theory, the Big Bang and the theory of evolution, yeah, combined together makes you feel like nothing. And if you've got no purpose, then some powerful people can come along and give you a purpose and say, your purpose in life is to get good grades at school, get yourself a good job, yeah, buy a house, have 2.1 children, right? And you know, just buy better things, bigger cars, you know, until you die. And that's your purpose.
On the end, Dave, thank you very much for your appearance in my show. Can you give to my fellow Macedonians sentence or two about everything, about life?
Okay.
Which is part of this flat earth philosophy.
Well, it goes way beyond the flat earth, yeah. My final parting words are to ask questions about your world and about yourself, because, you know, the answers are more incredible than you can possibly imagine, yeah. There's more to you than you think. The world is smaller than you think, and you are much bigger in it. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you very much, Dave. Because you are in my show, because you are in Macedonia and Skopje. Thank you very much. Hope that I will see you very soon once again.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been great to see you again after so many years.
Yeah.
So it's been a ride.
Okay, thank you very much. Това беше Дейв, моят приятел от Велика Британия, от Англия, на тема равна земя. Вие имате право да дискутирате сега, да браните, напаѓате, обвинувате, тоа е ваше право. Немам намера ни да ви го ускратам, ни да ви го одземам. Но би замолил, ако веќе дискутирате, да е тоа аргументирано, за да може да се развие поубава дебата. Да не биде со навреди, етикети, ова било тоа, се знае веќе. Да, ако се рекло се знае веќе пред 200 години, не би биле откриени не знам колку работи. Ако се рекло се знае веќе 75 година, све е јасно, не би биле ни лаптопи, ни компјутери, ни интернет, ни нешто. Така да, еве, Дейв, на крај ви рече, отворете го мозокот. Фала ви многу што бевте присутни во мојата емисија овој петок. Се гледаме следниот петок. Пријатно и со здравје.